Start by telling us your name and how old you are.
My name's Craig, I'm 45.
And a little bit about life growing up.
It was good. My childhood was good. Best mum and dad you could ask for.
Mm.
You know, so I cannot blame my situation on my upbringing really, because I had a really good upbringing. I was loved, you know, but things happen, don't they? But yeah, I was fortunate within the sense of I had a good family.
Yeah.
Family life, a good family structure, you know. But yeah.
What sort of changed for you then, or when did you sort of turn away from that?
Well, it was something that happened when I was younger, but I'd rather not.
No, that's fine.
But yeah.
And after that, things changed. Yeah.
I were knocking about with. Yeah, sorry, go on.
What sort of age did things change? How old were you when you started? Well, like moved away. You said you had like a good upbringing, good family around you.
Yeah.
And then something happened. What happened after that with your life?
I was just getting in and out of bother. I started getting in and out of bother. I suppose I had a good group of friends, but then I had quite a few friends. I tended to. You mean when I started getting into trouble?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really blame it on anything, if I'm honest.
No.
When I look at it now, I think growing up, I blamed it on what happened to me or other things. I think we're very good at finding things to blame it on. You know.
It's easier to blame it on something else than yourself, isn't it? In a way.
I'm honest. Initially, I started drugs with. What's this going on?
It goes on YouTube.
Yeah. Initially, I just wanted to get off my head. That's the honest answer. And I enjoyed getting off my head, and it blocked things out. So it that just became a bonus, or maybe. Yeah.
So you wouldn't even say like it was the wrong group of friends or peer pressure or anything like that?
I suppose it was a combination of things, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'd call them a wrong group of friends because, you know, I don't suppose you hang about with people that have heroin on them or cocaine or, you know, who have drugs on them. I suppose you're a...
How old were you when you first started?
No, 9.
9?
About 9.
Wow, and what did you start?
I had some decent jobs. I had some very good jobs. I'd be a manager now if I'd have held one job down. You know, I mean, my uncle got it, and I held it down for a good year on heroin, and my family went the wiser.
Yeah.
You know, then it came out after that job. That job, I suppose, but kept me in. You know, my addiction. So the problem started when I lost that job, a very good job, and I didn't have the income. So but I stopped drinking.
That's all right. So you saying you had that job for a year, and you were taking drugs whilst
on it,
and you were managing to hold it down.
Yeah. But and I kept making mistakes like falling asleep in toilets, and you know I started taking it to work with me, and that's when problems started, I suppose.
When it began to take over.
Yeah. In my first jail sentence, I think I just left school. You know, so, and it's a problem, you know, all your friends are you know, I mean, you know, the people I knock about with from prison or who are not what you'd call not respectable people.
I try not to judge anyone.
Yeah.
I think going to prison doesn't determine who you are as a person.
No, I mean, it can define you, can't it? I suppose.
I guess it can. It can.
You know,
But I feel like just because you've gone to prison doesn't automatically make you a bad
it can
bad
make you a
person.
It can, if you go to prison, it could make you a good person, doesn't it?
Some people come out a lot better, don't they?
I know people in there that are better in there than they are here.
Are they?
Don't tell them I said that.
So you said before that you started taking drugs at 9.
Yeah.
How were you sort of aware of drugs at the age of 9?
I had no education around drugs really. I couldn't, when I was really young, I couldn't understand why people took drugs.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I was very little, I just understood that drug addicts died because of taking drugs. So I had no understanding about it really. You know, I think if I'm growing up now and I've seen people rattling and I think the only good thing I can see about us, this generation being, there's a pandemic in it, but you know, the young ones are not getting on it now.
Are they not?
What I can say, no, you know, if they've seen us, you know, they've grown up seeing us well, and I suppose that's a good thing.
Do you think more education at a younger age
Yeah,
would help
definitely.
prevent?
No, I mean, we're an example of what not to be, you know, when you see them rattling and you know, desperate for money or whatever, you know, I never saw that growing up.
Because I think prevention's sort of always better than cure,
Like I
isn't
say,
it?
I was sheltered. I think I was sheltered. My parents made sure I didn't see that, you know.
But you feel that almost did you a disfavour in the end?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah, you need
a little, yeah.
Yeah, very sheltered, yeah.
Because I'm guessing at 9, like, you have no idea of the long-term effects that that's going to have on your life.
No.
And what do you feel like have been the long-term effects that it's had on your life?
It's took everything. It's destroyed me. It's destroyed my life. My health's no good. I can't breathe in the morning and cough. It's horrible in the morning, and my mental and physical state, emotional state is just nervous wreck. You know, it can cause. You know, I've been on medication and that's caused problems, and
Yeah.
you know, they put me on medication, and I'm all right on that, but then it causes problems. You know.
Would you like to get clean?
Yeah. Because, yeah.
What do you think? Is there anything that people could like support or help that people could offer you to help you do that, or do you think it's something you need to do on your own? Or
I've tried doing it on my own. It don't work. I think you do need a support network. You know.
yeah.
I'm going to look into it. I think we have something about a support network, which I've not got.
Where would you like to see your life in 5 years' time?
Clean.
Clean.
Retrain. You know.
What did you want to do when you were growing up? Like, what would be your dream job?
My life was mapped out from sort of, you know, I've always thought I'd go into army, but no, I don't know. I'm an electrician with a.
That's a good job, that.
You can't be clean. You've got that driver or, you know. Limited.
Have you got any advice for people watching this?
Don't take drugs and get an education.
Solid advice.
Because that's what it comes down to. Education,
Yeah.
I think. You know.
No, that's great. Thank you so much.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you very much for watching Craig's story. We're now going to talk a little bit about it. Please don't forget to subscribe if you have enjoyed. So Craig is an interesting one. He said life growing up was good. He had the best mum and dad. He said he can't blame his current situation on his upbringing at all. But then he says that, and then he says something happened when he was younger, which he won't talk about, and things changed from there. I think that's such a good example, if you can put it like that, of how like trauma can literally change you.
Yeah.
Like he's had a good upbringing, he's got good people around him, and that one thing happened, and we don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But that trauma's literally changed his brain. And I think especially when you're young and your brain's developing and changing, it really does affect you. So after that, he started getting in and out of trouble. And I think I asked him, like, if he thought the thing that happened was to blame for that. And I thought he had such a mature way of looking at it when he said that he maybe thought that when he was younger, but as he's got older, he says, like, you look back and you're very good at finding things to blame it on when it's not necessarily. And I think that's such a good... I think that attitude probably does come with maturity, doesn't it? Like,
yep.
When you look back on situations, like, yeah, that thing happened, and it was terrible, but only you are responsible for your actions after that. Do you get what I mean? Like, but I think maybe as a culture today, we are very quick to blame things on things, and sometimes it's not necessarily.
Well,
like you
it's always hard to blame yourself.
Mm-hmm. And well, I think it takes a lot of maturity to take a step back and be like, do you know what? Actually, that was my fault. So it started with him initially just wanting to get off his head, and then he also found that by doing that, it blocked things out as well. And I think then that's a vicious circle, because temporarily, life's easier when things are blocked.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then, like, I asked him, I think this was like a bit of a touchy subject with him, if it was like the wrong group of people, and he said to me, well, it might be the wrong group of people, like for you, because you don't hang out with people that take heroin and crack. And that's probably... Am I being judgmental in saying that that probably is the wrong group?
Definitely.
You think I am being judgmental?
Yeah. Do you know his friend?
No, I don't. And I'm not saying that people that take drugs are bad people. I'm not. But he was 9 years old. If my child at 9 years old was hanging out with people that were taking heroin and crack cocaine, I would say they were the wrong crowd of people for that child. Because at 9 you're a child. Like, you are easily influenced.
We don't know if he was hanging around with...
We don't know if they were other 9... Like,
there could be another 9 years old.
He could have. And that's terrifying. Where do you get crack and heroin at 9?
They said, where do you find a cigarette and 9 o'clock to smoke?
True, people smoke and drink at that age.
Yeah.
It's just terrifying, isn't it? And I do, maybe I am being judgmental. But like, I just think of it, if that was my baby, like my 9-year-old, I would, if she was hanging out with people like that, I would say, yeah, that's the wrong group. Because they are going to end up influencing your child at that age. It's not like a 20-year-old.
Well, what happens if your child influences other people's child?
Exactly, yeah. It's hard, isn't it? Like,
it is hard, but I think...
Like, I'm not saying that those people are to blame.
The foundation is at home.
But then he had a good foundation.
Well, he had until something changed. We don't know that.
No.
We don't know that.
No.
There could be something at home. There could not be something at home. So we don't know that.
And then he said himself, it was like also the education around drugs. Like, he didn't have any.
A lot of people don't know nothing.
Well, no, and I know we always say, like, that education is definitely, like, the key.
It is the key.
But whenever we've said that, I've always, like, in my head, I thought about, like, hammering it into them at, like, high school age. Like, primary, like, 9 is primary school. It's, like, year 5.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, maybe we do need to start younger. But then it's how much do you tell in that? Like, you don't want to terrify... Well, maybe you do want to terrify them, but...
Well, my question is, like, why they don't teach in school? Why they don't teach about drugs in school?
I don't remember learning anything, even in secondary school, about drugs. Like, I get it why you wouldn't maybe teach
Why?
primary school children, because they're young, you don't think they're going to be exposed to that, but it's clear from this that they
You don't
are.
think you do get exposed to that?
Not at that age.
Anyone think that they're naive if you think your kids won't be exposed to drugs.
No, but at that age, I'm saying, like, secondary school, yeah, sure, you definitely think they're going to be exposed at some point to drugs and drink and stuff.
Well, do you want me to tell you how it started? Primary school with cigarettes. That's how it started. Kids in primary school start bringing a cigarette, and it is reality. But the thing, we can blame the friends, we can blame. What about the parents? What about the parents? It's not about controlling.
It's not about controlling, it's about educating.
It's about educating.
You need to make sure your child makes as much as an informed decision as they can at that age.
Yeah. And parents that protect the kids, like.
I know, like, it did make me.
You're one of them.
I know I am. When he said himself he had such a sheltered upbringing, like his parents made sure he didn't see it, so he didn't know the effects. And I am one of them, and I think a lot of parents probably are, and I think it's just instinct, isn't it, to protect your child from seeing things.
Well,
The other day when I took Jazz to that thing, and it was so busy and she kept running off to play, I was like, and she's 5, I was like, oh my god, I've not had to talk with her about strangers. Like, to like kick and scream and shout if someone tries to take you or do anything. Because I think your first instinct as a parent is to protect you. Like, you don't want your child to see the world as like a terrifying place where she can just go to the park and someone might grab them.
Personally, I think that's wrong.
I know, it is, and I should have had that talk with her.
That's wrong because it's just a matter of time that you can share with your kids. Because
I know, I agree.
The only person that care about your kids is you.
Or cares the most.
Out there, this world, no one else cares.
No, I know.
So if you don't teach them that, one day you might not be here, or when they're out there,
and something happens,
it's
and you're not there.
It's a vicious word there. So
that's what
it's a dodgy word. So they'll be baffled. Like, I didn't know about this. How come no one teach me about it?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I fully agree with you that I'm wrong, but I also think the way I do it, like, is probably a lot of parents' first instinct.
So you're wrong.
I'm wrong. No, I'm saying I'm wrong, but I'm saying it's probably a common mistake.
Because you're wrong and strong.
Always.
Basically.
No, but do you not think, like, that is probably a common mistake that a lot of parents do just want to protect their children?
Every parent,
like, they're not doing it out of a place of badness. Like, they're doing it out of love.
Most parents want to protect the kids.
And they're only doing it out of love. But in the long term, it's not helping your child.
Yeah, but teaching your kids about drugs, what? You're only going to gain positive things out of it.
I know. I just think, like, in your head you think you don't have to start at, like, this age, but going from Craig's story, I think the younger the better, probably. Teaching, educating about drugs from a younger age, because you're right, like, you are completely right.
Oh.
For once, I will agree with you.
Okay.
For once. But then it's a fine line, isn't it? Because you don't want to, like with Tim, you don't want to normalise it either. You don't want in any way to make them think that drugs are a really common thing. Like, it's a fine line.
Yeah.
But on the plus side, Craig does think, he thinks now that a lot of younger people, and I mean, addicts are probably the best people to speak to, as in finding out who other addicts are.
Yeah.
He says, like, a lot of younger people aren't getting onto sort of crack and heroin now because they've seen what it does to people. And drugs have literally taken everything from him, which again, like, sadly is a far too common. Like you were saying, he had that really good job, and his habit lost him the job, but his habit also spiraled. It was not habit necessarily, but problems spiraled when he lost the job and didn't have the income to support the habit. And that's when it becomes, I think, a real issue. And that's when you see the rise in like crime and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he has tried to give up on his own, and it hasn't worked. Like he says himself, like you need that support network around him, and he hasn't got that.
You need people to support you.
You do. And I don't think that's a sign of weakness to say that or ask for help. Like you need those people around you. I really hope that he does get that support network.
I hope that too.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next week. Please don't forget to subscribe if you have enjoyed.